Welcome back to episode 10 of Building the Bifrost. I'm very excited about this episode because I've already played the episode and now I'm telling you about the episode being really good, okay? I'm excited because we theme Jotunheim really well. Like, it is so cool. I'm so happy with it. I could spend so much more time in this park. But secondly, we also fixed the Bifrost entrance, and let me tell you, it looks so cool. Way better than the boat with the little ramp off to the side. Anyways, let's get into it. Stop talking. Let's go. Episode 10. Boom. Go. All right. Over here in the gold objective is own a plot of land. Very easy. Open the other flume. Open the other flume. Build 2 new coasters. Easy. There's nothing that we have to do to those either. And then have a daily prop. These are really easy. And then a 3.5. Wow. These are really easy. Okay. Well, first things first, let's go buy a plot of land. That's be easy. And I'm pretty sure this plot of land is the only plot of land left that we don't own. Yeah. So buy. Heck yeah. Super nice. I haven't even got to build on this side yet. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to, I think, the flumes. I think we do the flumes. Get these done with. I'm kind of bored with flumes already because I spent so much time on this one. Well, on all these. So I'd like to finish the flumes and then move on from those objectives as well. So let's do that. And I have a great rating on it. I have finally figured out how to get these big raft flumes to be good. Basically, you just need a lot of ups and downs, which makes sense, I guess. So I kind of have the same concept where they're both going into the wall, and you can see over here we got one of those like little dome sphere-y things, and then it goes down, and then it goes up, and then it goes around, and then it goes down, and then up, and then down, and then up, and then down, and then up, and then down, and then out. And that gives me a 6.3, 4.81, and a 2.88. Yes. And it kind of fluctuates, but it fluctuates and it all stays in the green, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want. Now I get to move on to this guy, which I think is the indigo. Yes, the indigo. And we've done it. We have finished the indigo flume. And look at that rating. So good. And we can set it to open. I think this is gonna not give me, yeah, it didn't give me the dingly dings because I accidentally set it to open earlier when I was trying to edit it. And I meant to hit test flume and I went over too far and I hit open. So I did it myself. There we go. Easy peasy. So we just got to set the violet one to open because I guess I never did that. So here's your satisfying sound of completion. There it is. Ha! Yay. Let's build some coasters. Okay, so before we build our coasters, one of the big problems is there's no pathways down to here. And there are no pathways down to here. And I do think that this side, because if we go to, let me pause real quick and go here. If we go to the park expansion, like that's a lot of space. And I think we could get 2 coasters in on this side. Now, if I remember correctly, Jotunheim, I think I said this earlier. Jotunheim is the ice giant's place. And I think it would be really cool to make this look more ice giant-y and not so green and pretty, but more like if we're here, you can see like it's kind of rocky. I think rocky is the way to go. I think that's the goal. And I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to do a quick time lapse. Get rid of that. I'm going to do a quick time lapse here about really kind of making this place look a little bit more unique. And then we'll figure out how we're going to get people over here. I am thinking just an entrance right here that kind of goes up and underneath and connects in to about right there is what I'm thinking. But first, I'm going to do some terraforming. Let's get into terraforming. Yes. Actually, maybe we should look up to see if Jotunheim is what I think it is. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, after a quick Google search, yes, I am right. Jotunheim is where Loki is from. According to Norse mythology, it does kind of look like it's just a land of giants. And so, but it could be cold. Maybe, yeah. We'll just do that, I think. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do a time lapse of some terraforming and a deleting of some objects. So let's do that. here it is. We go through the portal, and this is the terrain I'm thinking. Something like this, kind of harsh, very, very aggressive. But the idea was, is I was going for something that's just kind of very jagged, very aggressive landscape that would be kind of difficult to maneuver around. Obviously, I still have to add in more stuff. And as we build, my goal is basically the rocks and stuff would be the trees. So as on other builds, like you could just fill in like we did over here, we filled in with some trees and some rocks and some bushes and stuff. I think this, I want to be like, oh, it's so quaint and nice and pretty. But then over here, instead of filling in with trees, we make a bunch of different pillared rocks like this. And then we copy it and then paste them around everywhere that we can get them to go in between stuff. So it just kind of adds to the jankiness. And I think the more we do that, this side's going to look really, really neat. Now it's time to build some coasters. Let's do that. Well, I guess I have to path it and then build coasters, or maybe I just build a coaster and then path. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll do whatever. Okay, I don't think you can see what I'm doing here because probably YouTube compression's terrible, but I am actually tunneling. If you can see, this is on our way to Jotunheim. So this is pretty cool because I have put in this tunnel that you can go all the way this way. You can go to Jotunheim, and then we can go over to, I don't remember which one this one is, but we can connect over this way. But I think all the paths are going to be underneath this little mountain here, and then that'll help me connect everything. So we've seen this. That is new though. Oh, where did that come from? It'll look familiar if I flew over there, but we are in first person mode. This is our gateway portal. We've changed that, and we have this huge pathway here to connect us. And this is what I've been working on. It is a path that everybody loves. Look at all these people. They all love it. It's just so amazing. But this makes more sense because that goes to Jotunheim. That one, I think, sorry, people. That one goes to Alfheim, I think is what that is. And then that one goes to Midgard, which is technically Earth. So this pathway, stairway here goes up to Asgard, which is where we want to go right now. It's really dark in here. I apologize, but look at this. But look at this. It's so nice. Excuse me, all these. Wait, I should hit play so we can interact with our guests. Look at this. Look at how cool this is. So this is where the boat used to be, but now you come up where the boat was, and it just makes so much more sense. This makes so much more sense. And look at it. Look how good it is. I am debating on whether or not I want to add these guys in here holding this, because see that clipping right there really bothers me. Really bothers me. That's why those are there and not anywhere else. It's also kind of nice. It's kind of an asymmetrical thing because everything about this build is very symmetrical. But yeah, so we have Asgard, and then we have the little portals. It's kind of like the 9 realms, even though there's only 7 of them. 9 realms portals like that are up here. You know, this is kind of interesting idea, right? Pretty cool. And so this is what it looks like from above. Yeah, I got a fire up at the top. I recolored this guy so he looks more like stone rather than metal, which works really well. And it looks more logical than having a boat in a tiny little water pond right here. It just doesn't make any sense. That makes so much more sense. And it looks really nice next to everything that's happening up here. But let's go ahead and make our coasters. We're probably going to put them in the back. Yeah, probably. Okay, I have a completed coaster. I am concerned it is not going to be good. But we're going to go ahead and ride this thing and see what we get. Yep, let's go. Play. All right, here we go. Please be good. That was a lot of G's. Wow. We are flying around this coaster. Whoa. Yeah, this is going to be terrible. This is going to be unrideable. All reds. Yikes. Okay, I know a way to quickly solve that problem, and that is to delete the whole thing and start again. No, just kidding. We're not going to do that. The problem is we have too much speed, so we're actually going to lower how high we go. We got a couple things to work on here. So let me work on those things and I will be right back. Okay, I have a surprise. Look at this. When I click on this and I go boom, and I go over to this, look at that. Look at that score, boom, all green. But I have a bigger surprise for you. You may have seen it. I don't know if I left it in the video, a little time lapse of me adding something. You can see back over here, it's rather boring and it was redder before. So yeah, I don't know if it's the tweaks that I made over here or if it's what I added over there that might have given it the more of the excitement. I'm not sure. There's no way to really know because I was dumb and I didn't check after I made those tweaks. And I was really hoping that this little, you know what, let me just show you and then I'll talk about it. Let me show you. So we're gonna ride this coaster. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. We're gonna go, holy smokes, that's fast, and slow down. Oh, I also moved a lot of the rocks, so hopefully we're not gonna hit any rocks. Whee! Okay, here it comes, here it comes, here it is. Get ready. Ah, it's a giant arm. You can't really see it that well when you're in the front seat, which is kind of a bummer. But when you're in like the other seat, wait, whee, okay, slow down. So we go around this turn and then, whoa, a giant arm comes through and it's blue on purpose because that was good, sweetie. I wish I could use that as a sound effect. That was great. Oh man. So over here I've added in this arm and it's blue because it's supposed to be like a blue giant from Jotunheim and they're supposed to be like all extinct. That's why this whole place is turned into a theme park. That's kind of the idea. So this whole place has been turned into a theme park because all the Jotunheims are gone, long gone. But this ride here hints at the fact that there might be one lurking around, or maybe they're all in hiding. Who knows? Okay, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to change the colors for the ride. Those reds did not work. So it's more neutral colors, something that's going to fit more of the realm of Jotunheim. I did that. I also named it. It is called King Thrime. I don't know how to pronounce it. Apparently, I did some research, and this guy is the king of Jotunheim and of the frost giants. So I am just hinting at the fact that maybe the king is still alive. At least his arm. Just his arm is still alive. It's just his arm. But maybe he's still alive and lurking around Jotunheim. And he's mad and he tries to attack you. Pretty good. I like it. I need to decorate this coaster so it has a much more interesting entry and then also put text that says King Thrime. Again, I don't know how to pronounce it. If somebody knows how to pronounce it, please let me know. But I'm going to say Thrime. Okay, be right back. Alrighty, it is the next morning. As you can tell, my voice sounds different because it's the morning and I have morning voice. So we are on the backside of this big rock because we are hiding the coaster entry. Look, here's a little peek. Here's a little peek. Ready. Ooh, peek. Oh, nope. That over there is obviously how you get into Jotunheim. And here we go. We're just going to show you. Here it is. Boom. There it is. This is what it is. It is beautiful. It's basically a big rock structure that the ride's entrance is in. And the idea behind this is that there's like these symbols on the side that we're going to say is like Jotunheim language or whatever. It's a whole lore thing, okay? We're doing some lore here in this, and that all the frost giants are extinct and we are coming in and trying to monopolize, make money off of the fact that there's nobody here, the land is cheap, and we're going to build roller coasters and cover up these like ruins of Jotunheim. And this here is actually a depiction of what we think the frost giants look like, which they don't look like that, but it's kind of like almost like an insult. And that's Thrime being mad because he's not extinct and people are ruining his land, I guess, with stupid roller coasters. So let's go build another one. Yeah, right over here. Let's do it. Oh, and also I totally forgot to change the color of this, so now this is changed. Look how nice it looks. It looks good. Okay, good. Bye. So I got a little carried away. I didn't hit record. I was just having fun playing the game. It's been a while since I've decorated, and I'm really enjoying this kind of like rocky theme. But look at this. I have this whole other one done. Oh, I forgot to name it. We'll name it later. But look at this. This is the new coaster. It's right here. It's lovely. It's pretty. I kind of went for like a shrine type of, wait, I should play so we can see the flames. Look at the flames. Went for like a shrine type of feel, you know, very organic, rocky, very scary. You come up and this is the exit, and the entrances are just between these rocks, and then you go around this way. And they're not that exciting, but you still get to weave between and then go into the coaster. Yay! And then you get to get in line and wait. Look at all these dummies. Okay, watch this. Watch that car. When it goes, you're gonna see the flamey flames go flame on. Ready? Come on, Johnny Storm, go. Flame on. See, there it goes. See, and then it goes away. But it's cool because they're constantly going like small flame, and then when the next car goes, it's pretty neat. Okay, let's ride this coaster. Here we go. As you can see, I've already made sure that this coaster is pristine. It is a green across the board. But we come here. I had a really cool idea of making this feel like it's like a tipping rock, but I couldn't attach any scenery to it, and I did not want to take the time to animate those little turny bits because they're not very precise to then. But just imagine that's like a rock you're balancing on, and it's like, oh, okay, wee. And then we go down this way, and then we go up and around, and then we hit some zoomies. Oh, we go through a rock. I gotta change that. Didn't know that was there. Then we come down and around. Oh my goodness. And then flying this way, down. Whoa, there's another rock that we went through. Gotta fix that. And another rock. Okay, I did not check these rocks. I thought I got them all, but apparently I did. And another giant rock. Okay. So that's exactly what we did. We went around and moved all these stupid little rocks out of the way that I thought were already moved, and they're still in the way, and it's so stupid. It's annoying. It's so stupid. Let's take a look at these and open them. Here we go. Open. And wait, I didn't get yes, I got half a check. I have a half marks. Here we go. And open. Yay.
I can't believe
we
the
did it.
Bifrost is finished.
Woo. Yay, we finished the gold. Moving on to the platinum. Oh, yeah. Okay, over here in the platinum. Wow. Okay, so average pool cleanliness, 95%. 50%? That pool should be really clean. Oh, it might be this pool. Yeah, that would make sense. There's no pump over there. Hunger needs to be high. Thirst needs to be good. And then a park. Really? That's all? That's so coincidental, because if we go to park management and we go to guests, they're already hungry and thirsty. So that was a problem I needed to solve. That's so funny. Also, I don't know if there's any bathrooms in this park, and if there are, they're all the way up here. I don't want to have another pee fiasco like we did the last one. Let's work on pool cleanliness real quick by deleting this pool, I think. No, we'll go to heat map. There we go. Now that should solve that problem. To hit play and let it filter this water. So the next thing to do is, of course, to complete the food objective. So we went ahead and started in Midgard because that's where everybody is. And we made this beautiful little food court. I mean, we didn't make it. We found it and we put it there, and it works really nicely. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Then we added just food around the park, just random little spots along the main pathway into the meat of the park, which is like where the Bifrost is and the Midgard and all that stuff, right? After that, we added in a food court inside of the Bifrost. Brilliant, I know. So we went ahead and did that. Once that was completed, we moved into Jotunheim. In Jotunheim, we put the food court all the way in the back between the two coasters, which works out really, really nicely. And here's a little time lapse for you to enjoy of that process. All right, a little bit has changed from that time lapse that you just saw. I took out this massive rock up top. It just didn't look good, and you'll see why from inside. When I put this arch in, because it did need like a doorway, and this arch is just like super like rickety, which I actually like. It makes it feel like it's gonna fall over. Pretty cool. Very thin, very narrow, just like, ooh, that's gonna fall anytime soon. But here we go. This is our food court on this side. Oh yeah, hand play, so we can have all these things open. And we have this side over here, which I actually like this side a lot. I think it looks like it's actually in a cave. And that's kind of the idea I was going for. This side looks like it's just under a pile of rubble. I do really like my arch because it's scary. But if we look at it from the top view, you can kind of see what I'm saying. It looks a lot better with these like spiky bits coming up rather than this massive flat rock. And I really like it. I think it looks really nice. Okay, so now we're just gonna go first person camera and kind of talk. So I think now it's just kind of a waiting game, and we just need to wait for, that looks so cool. I love this. We just need to wait to see how things go with this. See, that already went up a percentage when I last checked it. So as these go, oh, it went down a percentage, great. And really, I think we just need to focus on the rating of the part. I think because we have our coaster in the back, the 2 coasters in the back, and the food court behind the giant rock pillar, I just think that we need to fill this side in with more rides. And the more rides we put in, that's just gonna give us a higher rating, and everything's gonna go up from there. And also picking up this trash will actually help quite a bit. So let's go ahead and start working on putting in some rides. Okay, so I put in my first ride over here, and it is looking good. I have made this, which is gonna be kind of my entry that I'll adjust with different pillar rocks and move these things around. But generally, I'm gonna have some sort of entry like this, and then I'm gonna do stuff like this, like add in spiky rocks and then smaller rocks around it. And this is just kind of be the basic blueprint of every ride that I put in here. I would love to add some scenery because I do think, let's just do this live. I think that what we should do, we should attach scenery. We should go to rocks, yes, rocks, and then go down to our favorite spiky rock. So if we turn that up, and we do this way. This is the one that just works pretty much with everything. So then now these spinny bits are spinning around a rock instead of spinning around some futuristic looking thing. And that looks a lot more tied in. So this is the problem. If we hit play, do we get a weird, oh wait, is this in testing mode? It's not. Let's hit test. Do these spin? Because if they spin, we have an issue. Oh good, they're not spinning. Oh, but I actually wouldn't mind it if it was attached to that center bit, but it's not, and that needs to go higher, so in a little bit larger, so that way we're not seeing these pieces coming out. Now we can move on to more important things, like more rides like this guy. I'm actually thinking about leaving him in the air. Okay, let's keep making rides. Here it is. This is all new. So this is going to be another little food area, but these are all the new rides I've added, and you can't see them, but this is kind of what I was envisioning for this area. It's just very rocky, so it's just a harsh, hard place to live. But if we go up this way, we can see we have an entrance and a priority pass entrance up into this ride. And I've also tried to make it so that way the rocks are kind of part of the ride, and then maybe the Vikings came and added the metal bits. They like forged the metal bits to make it work, and this is just like magic, just magic rocks. So like, oh, we can turn that into a ride, right? Type of thing. Then there's this ride. Wait, let me back up. Then there's this right here. I kind of terrained over this and then put rocks on it to make it slightly different from some of the others, and you'll see why. But this is this splash ride. Oh, that's really That's really, oh, I can't ride. I can walk up there. That's really close. I might need to fix that. Whatever. But yeah, so whoa. I just teleported. What the heck? That was cool. So this is just kind of like their pathway in, and there's that fast pass, and I'm sprinting really fast here. And then over here, I didn't mean to open this one, but I did for whatever reason. I was going to open all these at the same time, but then the same idea, you can see it's kind of clipping, but we're just going to ignore that. But yeah, it's a rock, and then they're just spinning around it. And then on this side, it's kind of the same idea, but we're going to go. So this is the entrance. We come through, and it's just this ride. But I'm taking the same kind of idea where it's like there's these cool rocks, there's this rock here, and then they're using that as like a ride type of thing. Pretty neat. I think it's cool. You let me know. And then this one I'm most excited about. I think this one's really cool. So I put some time into this one. This one is obviously just the tower dropper, but look at this portal. So what I've done here is in Minecraft, you know how you can do like, there's the glass blocks and then air block, glass block, air block, glass block, and then you keep going, and you put a light at the bottom, and it kind of creates this like mist or fog or whatever of just like depth, and you can make that illusion. It looks like it's a portal. I didn't really want it to look like, and this shows it so much better because I was able to put more depth into it. But I didn't want it to look like it was just like clipping through the rocks, the ride was. So what I've done is I got glass. See, look, and that was such a good view of it. And it just looks like they're falling into like this misty fog abyss. See, isn't that awesome? And then of course I did add some of the fog, but the fog is very light and I would have had to put a lot of fog, but you can kind of see the layers of glass here if I do this. Layers of glass, see? And then at the very bottom, I have a spotlight right under there. I promise it's right there. You can kind of see it. It gives that effect of that same kind of vibe that it's just like a deep mist fog. You don't know how, oh man, it looks so good when it does that. I love it. So that's kind of like a mystical, foggy tower drop ride. And I love it. It's super cool. And we can open and then also open you. And then we can see if our rating goes up. It's already gone up by 0.1. So let's hit play. Yep, there it is. Okay, so if we're looking at this from the top-down view, I have food everywhere. I have food over in the left. I have food, a ton of food centrally in the park on the top, and a huge food court underneath in the mountain, 2 really food courts under the mountain, 1 big food court right outside the mountain into Jotunheim, and then we have some food along the path into Midgard, as well as a huge food court in Midgard. And then we have food along the pathway from the entry. So I'm not really sure. Even if we go into our heat map here, you can kind of see all the little ants walking around. I don't know. I'm very confused. Yeah, they're kind of stagnant at 65. So we have a way to fix this problem. And I think the way that we're going to fix this problem is we're just going to go ahead. I don't know why I'm doing it this way, but we're going to close the park. So if we close the park, everybody's going to leave. So let's fast forward. Everybody's going to leave. And once everybody's gone, we'll open it back up and we should have 100% food because there's no needed amount of people. So the first person that comes in should be completely not hungry, completely not thirsty, and we should immediately win. That's what should happen. So we'll see. Okay, everybody's gone. As you can see, bottom left-hand corner, we have 0 guests in the park. Now, so what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna open this up and then we're gonna hit this. And when the first person comes in, it should jump up to 100. Open, and we should win. Yeah.
Well, you don't have to be Odin to see that this park is worth raving
I am
about.
so smart. Yes, also we lost like $70,000 waiting because we're actually probably more like 100 because we were at like 700 and something and we ended with 630. Heck yeah. Guests in park, that is such a low number. That's so funny. Yeah, I should have renamed Cable Car 2 to Dragon Ride as well. But boom, we did it. Heck yeah, we finished. I love this side. Jotunheim looks so cool. I'm very proud of it. And, you know, Midgard looks pretty good. This looks like Davy Jones's beard. And this is super cool. Way better than the boat that was here. I think I like this a lot better. I actually kind of started liking the fact that we only had the banner here. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I loved this Viking theme. As I said, I loved Jotunheim. I loved making Jotunheim. Jotunheim was so much fun to make. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. What is happening to this person? It's like a really bad T-Rex with the long neck. Look at that. Oh, it's so bad. Look, look at her face.